Getting every achievement in Scooby-Doo doesn't follow the usual rules. Instead of challenge we have jank, instead of beauty we have these character models, and instead of variety we have a carbon copy of Crash. What I didn't see was it beating Sonic the Hedgehog. This primed me for a treat, only that treat turned into unpredictable controls that make Crash seem like surgical precision next to Scooby's tap X and pray for a miracle. I'm Jonathan, a RetroAchievements addict whose mission is to master the games that define generations.
Wow, Scooby! Like, isn't this groovy? We're the stars of our very own video game. Yeah, groovy.
You know we're in for an experience when the very first line in the game is cut short.
I challenge you to play this game. You'll lose it every time. The Phantom Virus always wins. Success, it will be mine.
Would you do it for a whole box of Scooby snacks?
Velma, old pal, you got yourself a deal. Yeah, yum, yum.
And so we're off into different worlds to chase the Phantom Virus. This game's already scarier than Silent Hill. Each hub has 3 stages and we have to collect all pies, burgers and Scooby coins for the collector achievements. Our first mission takes us to Japan. It becomes quickly apparent that the rest of the gang won't leave us alone as the radio calls border on harassment. I spent my first 30 seconds running back and forth transfixed at Scooby's back legs, which look like they're broken. The jumping feels floaty but mostly manageable, and we start grabbing pies and butt bouncing boxes.
Try throwing a pie at them. It's a piece of cake. Or, pie.
Oh, we're warned of dangerous ninjas, but they just stand there.
Keep on your toes, Scooby. You don't know karate, but those guys sure do.
Oh Jesus! Classic Japan Level 1 Collector is ours, and I'm genuinely mildly curious and slightly concerned for what else is in store. This game just keeps giving. The box of Scooby snacks marks the end of the stage and we get Classic Japan Level 1 as we exit. A big thanks to Blue Falcon Gaming for shifting schedules so we don't clash. I've linked him below, so do check him out. Stage 2 is similar, but this time we're met with cross-eyed samurais and spears, which move so laughably slowly you'd have to intentionally walk into them to consider it an obstacle. It's gonna be a long day. Classic Japan Level 2 Collector is done.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo!
Classic Japan Level 2 is over, and even the actors sound like they don't give a first boss time, and don't worry about working it out, Fred and Velma tell us what to do. We avoid his attacks, and when chance flashes on the screen we give him the cream pie. 3 splats and he dies. Samurai unlocks and someone grab a tissue. Our second world is ancient Rome and we take over as Shaggy. Butt bouncing priceless jars, there's finally some actual platforming and skeleton guards.
I bet they just hate a pie in their face.
Moving swiftly on, I can't help but notice Shaggy milking an invisible cow as we navigate the floaty controls. I hit jump here but fell to my death. It quickly became apparent that the controls are indeed shit. I also realised sometimes it's better to not cream pie everyone, saving some for later. Something about the camera makes it harder to get used to forward jumps in a way that Crash does naturally. We get chased by a horse and cart, but there's a distinct lack of urgency, and Ancient Rome Level 1 Collector pops with Ancient Rome Level 1 moments later. Level 2's guards carry spears, but they're easy to dodge, and after an uncomfortably samey stage, Ancient Rome Level 2 Collector and Ancient Rome Level 2 are done. Velma is on hand to tell us exactly what to do in Boss 2.
Lions and skeletons and spears, oh my!
Run around in circles for the spears, double jump away from the lion and cream pie his butthole. He even stands with his tushy out and a final dodge nets us lion. We're in the Arctic now with polar bears and seals, as well as moving walls. This is about as close to Crash 2 as you can get without a cease and desist. The ice sends Shaggy's cow milking into overdrive, and some falling icicles aren't enough to stop us getting the Arctic Circle Level 1 Collector, and a lone seal is no match for our cream pie. The Arctic Circle Level 1 is ours. The Arctic Circle Level 2 will for many be the biggest barrier to mastery. It took me about 40 minutes, which isn't too shabby, but I've seen reports of people slowly being driven insane, possibly by forgetting to hit mute and hearing Shaggy making noises reminiscent of a 3-year-old. With such regularity, the developers clearly thought 3 seconds without him screaming is too much. It's my job to drop some pearls of wisdom, and that's tough with bad controls, but I'll do my best. The Arctic Circle Level 2 will come naturally. Because Scooby snacks are multiplied when collected quickly, missing one in a chain kills the run, and this is extremely important here. Some people found the D-pad better. Swing in slightly, then hard out to ride the walls, otherwise Shaggy misses. Hold left around this corner to stay central. Tap in, then hold outside to swing high. The tunnel is easy with practice, turn as soon as you grab the Scooby snacks. The next corner is horrendous, so pray Shaggy does what you ask. Brake before the bend and be careful swinging out to avoid falling. After I hit the penguin, I get a massive swing and luck was with me. Slow and gentle again, then tap right for the next 3. Swing high, then turn in sharp. The next few are central, so turn into the corners hard. Brake sharply to kill speed so you don't overshoot, then slam right to ride the wall. Turn in, but be ready to countersteer before the ice slope. Then stay central before swinging out wide, then back in for the last few and the Arctic Circle Level 2 collector. It's Phantom Virus time and we're dodging as the polar bear charges. Semicircles work best here and it isn't long before we cream pie the polar bear. The Phantom then starts spinning and throwing shapes before we give another beating. The final round starts with snowballing and ends with a cream pie for Arctic Cyber Ghost. We've landed in Prehistoric Jungle and finally something good to say about the game. I love dinosaurs, which is why I'm doing Dino Crisis when I hit 3,000 subs, so please consider subscribing if you're having fun. The dinosaurs are low poly, but they have bags of character. A single pie takes them out like other enemies, but the theme slaps and I feel this is Scooby at its extremely rare best. This time we're slamming eggs and avoiding falling bones to grab Prehistoric Jungle Level 1 Collector and Prehistoric Jungle Level 1.
More dinosaurs! Ruh-roh!
Prehistoric 2 takes us to the lake where we're hopping across semi-aquatic dinosaurs. The lack of accuracy with the controls and the narrower spaces to land really make the game start to creak a bit.
Those dinosaurs look a little too big for your pie attack, Scooby. Just move around them real carefully so they don't attack.
Attack!
I wrongly assumed this was the green light to crawl through, but it turns out despite the warning the only way past is running with the right timing, and it turns out they attacked me regardless. Just the high road? I mean the prehistoric bridge with crumbling struts to go then. This was the first pain point for me as I immediately burned through my 15 lives and 2 continues just on the level's conclusion. No matter how I tried, Scooby wouldn't respond how I needed and I landed between the gaps like I was auditioning for a skydive. The best advice I can give is double jump where possible. At least it minimises the chances the game has to do the opposite of what you expect. Prehistoric Jungle Level 2 Collector and eventually Prehistoric Jungle Level 2 done. It's time to fight 10 frames per second T-Rex, which starts with avoiding molten magma balls. The T-Rex appears and charges us with what appears to be a dislocated bottom jaw, and like me, after a 20-foot sprint, it gasps for breath as we cream pie the face. Phase 2 is a charge and tail swipe, and Phase 3 adds a ground pound, which requires a double jump to avoid. We were both down to a single hit, but I finished first with a cream pie that scored T-Rex.
Okay, Shaggy, time for a little fun.
Like you got it, Velma.
We're at the big city and it's skateboard time, which is about as fun as spooning my eyeballs out with a fork. The controls are just as offensive as the bobsleigh, Shaggy veering into everything, swerving like he's drunk and just not complying with the controller. At least this time we only have a few collectibles to go for and not the Scooby snacks. I'm not entirely sure why the draw distance is suddenly meters from Shaggy's nose either. Gnarly. That dealt with, it's an uphill trek past some skaters, a gentle jog past the flattest steam I've experienced, and a couple of cheeky pickups off screen. Finally, we pie a couple of breakdancers on the way to the big city level 1 and the big city level 1 collector, which I had to head back in for. We're inside an office now, which means death ray cameras and guards getting trapped on boxes, naturally. We have to avoid lasers, ride conveyors, but not before it being needlessly explained, of course. Like we're a McDonald's Happy Meal version of Tom Cruise. We spot the Phantom Virus, who backflips while sending tiny lightning bolts from his knees before disappearing and giving us just enough time to grab the big city level 2 collector and the big city level 2. The Phantom Virus's next boss is the Funland robot.
Let the games begin. Like this doesn't sound very fun.
I'm saying nothing. We have to ride the conveyor, which plays out like a scene from Naked Attraction, before avoiding the bombs and sending a pie his way. Speed is the best tactic here, otherwise the shutter comes down for round 2. Be quick to act and a final pie reveals the Scooby snacks with a heavenly glow and robot secured. Our penultimate world is Egypt, which naturally means pyramid internals, bats and moving pillars. I used more lives than I care to admit here, with Scooby either jumping 2 centimeters or 2 meters with very little puzzle in between. Something just fell off, and I don't mean the game straight up copy and crash again. The final stretch begs for precision in controls with moving platforms, flame traps, and a colour changing puzzle. We hop across the bottomless pit, concluding with me being cornered by bats and accidentally missing the final collectible. Instead, I grabbed the Scooby snacks for Egypt level 1. I shocked myself scoring Egypt level 1 collector a mere 5 minutes later. Egypt 2 introduces mummies and more annoying pillars with smaller platforms and the occasional crushing boulder, but Egypt level 2 collector and Egypt level 2 were easier to get than stage 1. It took me some time to work out a decent strat for the phantom virus in Egypt. He conjures a force field and mummies flank us, but quickly firing pies works best here without bothering to aim. Knock them off the edge and we get to cream pie the phantom virus. Round 2 and 3 involve more mummies, so stay central for when the pie pickup appears. A final creaming to the face and the phantom virus trots away into the screen and Egyptian cyber ghost is ours. 5 achievements left and it's off to the amusement park in search of the final showdown. That can only mean more cream pies, and this time on the receiving end are rabbits and clowns. We're treated to, yay, another precision platform challenge, and the camera judders like the developers have finally given up. Then it's inside a haunted house for vampires, lights out style swinging guillotines and ghosts. The stage ends with
A beautiful parade. There's sure to be danger ahead.
Ranger? Oh no!
a colourful finale with the Amusement Park Level 1 collector and the Amusement Park Level 1. Level 2 starts with a hedge maze. We make our way through smashing chests and cream pieing roses that look like labia before using the catapults to cross the river. Eventually we make it to a castle and later spinning bars. Finally we cream pie some knights and catapult our way to the Amusement Park Level 2. I missed a couple of the chests in the labia maze, so headed back in. If you're missing one collectible, it's probably here. The Amusement Park Level 2 collector dealt with, and all that's left is the Phantom Virus. The final boss gave me a lot more grief than I was expecting, though being the end I guess I'll forgive it. In Phase 1 it took a while for me to realise the figure of 8 pattern he follows. Once I'd clocked that, avoiding him became a lot easier. Try to stay out of the middle too. I actually favoured a butt bounce here as pies are limited. As he shoots lightning bolts, keep running in a wide circle and they're easy enough to dodge. When he splits in 3, each comes in for a kick and a well-timed double jump can squeeze by. When they start circling, it's a brief window to pie or butt bounce. Don't worry if you don't get the right phantom, make a mental note and keep tracking them with your eyes so you can connect a second time round. Mega Phantom is tough to avoid. He strikes with his right, so run around towards his left. Hopefully you have health left like I did. A final cream pie to the face and Cyber Ghost is ours, and Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase is master. I deserved that. Have a great day.